Welcome to the opening of Textiles from Bengal, a shared legacy. A dream project that has been in the making for 4 long years by the Weaver Studio Resource Center and its founder trustee Darshan Mekani Shah. And who better to welcome all gathered here today than Darshan herself? Can we have you on stage, please? Right behind me. Okay, there she is.
Namaskar. Good evening. It's really a very overwhelming moment for me. A very emotional and overwhelming moment, so please excuse me. And thank you for being here. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for making the time this afternoon to be with us on the very, very special moment as we unveil this multi-year project, Textiles from Bengal, a shared legacy. The touch of a piece of cloth brings many questions to mind. What stories lie within the warp and the weft? What extraordinary tales of its production, markets, patronage, and mobility sit within the folds? How much of human history and its cultural narratives hide in its stitches and design? The project Bhattacharya, the narrative silks of Bengal, in 2016 and right up to 2019, was the beginning of my journey to research the textiles of Bengal, when I discovered that Bengal did not have its own wedding sari. These woven silks completely changed in character and quality. Iconography and colors from their traditional versions were now preserved only in museums and private collections. The national success of this project encouraged us to delve deeper into the expanse that are Bengal textiles and ask, what's next? What else? Then COVID took over our lives, and in the pause of multiple lockdowns, new ideas emerged. By mid-2020, a holistic project on Bengal textiles history was conceived. With guidance from Dr. Madhuvanti Ghosh, our team adapted to COVID-era challenges. As archives and museums remained inaccessible, research pivoted towards digital platforms, social media, and existing textile collections. Despite restrictions, this period provided new and unexpected research avenues, and the world opened up to give life to Textiles from Bengal, a shared legacy. Bengal textiles, once renowned across the world, had been relegated to the margins of scholarship. This industry, thriving under Mughal patronage and fueling European markets, faded through shifting economies and evolving artisanal traditions. Our research traces its history and journey from the height of global demand to its survival against all odds. Textiles from Bengal, a shared legacy, is the first project to offer a comprehensive view of Bengal's textiles from both West Bengal and Bangladesh, spanning nearly 4 centuries. The book that we have published examines Bengal's shifting geographies, trade, fluctuations, industrialization, and the commercialization of raw material, covering everything from Nakshi Kanthas and majestic Satgaon quilts to Sonargaon muslins, Malda silks, and Murshidabad baluchers. The exhibition expands this time frame, bringing the conversation into the present and towards the future. The exhibition is divided into 9 thematic sections and presents a rich visual and historical narrative. We have also collaborated with Udita Siddharth and Bongwater Films for a 3D mapping of this exhibition, which will be released only in April. And we hope that from now till the 31st of March, till when the exhibition continues, many, many people will come in and see not only the exhibition, but experience the symposium that is coming up, and also the film and the book, which is being launched today. The International Symposium over the next 2 days will present fresh insights from scholars across India, Bangladesh, the US, Australia, and Europe. Discussions will explore Bengal as a cultural identity, shaped by partitions, independent movements, and migrations. To document living textile traditions, we are also creating Apar Opar, a documentary film chronicling Bengal's evolving textile landscapes and its path forward. We hope that you will enjoy and engage with all that we have presented, and all of which would not have been possible without the support of many people who are here with us today. And my heartfelt thanks goes to Mrs. Sangeeta Jindal of JSW, Amita and Purnendu Chatterjee of Garden Varelli, to all our sponsors, supporters, friends, mentors, and collaborators, our venue partner, Kolkata Center for Creativity, and Mrs. Richa Agarwal of Imami Art. Her support and that of everyone at KCC has been invaluable. Our editors, Dr. Sonia Ashmore, is here with us this afternoon. Professor Tirthankar Roy and Dr. Niaz Zaman but the publishers of this book is Mapin, Bipin Shah, and Priyanka Raja and their team. And our esteemed contributors are more than 40. The advisory committee and the academic committee that we had formed, thank you to each one for their mentorship and for their guidance. To our exhibition curator, Mayank Mansingh Kaul, a big round of applause. Our exhibition designers, Reha Sodhi and Rajat Sodhi, let's continue to put our hands together. Our conservation experts, Anupam Sa and Sakshi Gupta, our lighting designer, Abby Vincent Matthew, our lenders, symposium speakers, and the Weaver Studio Resource Center teams, my Veda commercial team, my accounting and marketing, social media and PR teams. And before I end, a very, very special thank you to Mr. Praful Shah and Mrs. Shilpa Shah, whose passion for textile continues to inspire my journey. They have come all the way from Mumbai to join us for this show. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, over to our MC for this evening's proceedings. Thank you everybody for being here. Namaskar, namaskar, namaskar.
Most of you have seen the exhibition, and now you've felt the emotion that's gone behind making Textiles from Bengal a shared legacy. Thank you, Darshan. As you said, nothing of this scope or scale can be brought to life without the support of like-minded individuals and institutions. On that note, may I invite Ms. Sangeeta Jindal, Chairperson of the JSW Foundation, to please say a few words. Ma'am, you can come up from there if you want.
I'm deeply honored to be here today, celebrating the rich cultural heritage of Bengal, my first home. Born and raised in Kolkata, I have been profoundly influenced by the state's vibrant traditions, art, and culture. Growing up in Bengal, I was surrounded by the beauty of hand-woven textiles. I vividly remember the women in my life adorning themselves in exquisite handcrafted fabrics. My friend and my teacher, Mrs. Chanda Bose, was when we were just growing up, and he would always wear these Tangal saris with a beautiful red bindi. I'm thrilled to support the remarkable work of Weaver Studio, which is dedicated to preserve our textile heritage. Their efforts, their passion resonate deeply in the mission of JSW Foundation, which we strive to promote and celebrate India's rich cultural legacy. I'm reminded of the profound connection I feel with the women artisans from Kolkata and across the country. India's textile history is a testament to the power of cultural expression, and I'm committed to honoring this legacy which embraces innovation and new ideas. Thank you for inviting me, for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to continuing our collective efforts to preserve and celebrate India's vibrant cultural heritage. And my main desire with all the people here that we ourselves have to have a beautiful textile museum in our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jindal. Could I now also ask Ms. Richa Agarwal, Chairperson of the Kolkata Center for Creativity and Ivermee Art, to say a few words?
A very, very good afternoon, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to the Kolkata Center for Creativity this afternoon on the occasion of the opening preview of Textiles from Bengal, a Shared Legacy, an exhibition that has been made possible through the coming together of a multitude of like-minded people, much like the brilliant exhibition on the ground floor that brings together threads of Bengal's diverse textile traditions while positioning them within a global discourse. When Darshan Shah, Darshan Di as I know her and have always known her, approached me with this amazing project that integrates history, heritage, art, craft, design, I agreed immediately. And I think all of us who know Darshan Di know she doesn't take no for an answer. So honestly, there was no plan B and there was no option B. We are definitely very thrilled that all of you all here are together at the Kolkata Center for Creativity. I am extremely humbled because this place has been made as a passion project by my father-in-law, Mr. R.S. Agarwal. When he envisioned this place, this is what he imagined. A place where like-minded people could come together, and in Hindi we say ki manthan karenge. We share our minds. We create a safe place where anytime you walk in through the doors, you know you're going to feel something interesting. A lot of people have told me time and again that there is something enigmatic, there's something interesting, there's something pure when they walk in and they feel it. I have said this again and again, it's actually people who walk in, who leave their vibrations, and that is what keeps this place alive. I cannot thank everyone enough. There is an installation on the ground floor. It's called Disobedience. That, I think, is the soul of our thought process, really. It's created by an artist, Greek artist, Nasia Iglis, and she says, I call it disobedience because I made it a certain way. But it just doesn't obey me. It obeys whoever walks through it. I urge you all to walk through it. For all of us, it's actually a thought process. It's our minds. It is very important to understand that we need to first take that first step forward. And rasta apne aap, there's always a way forward. You have to just take that first step, and that is the belief with which we worked with KCC, and I was a little overwhelmed. We've been hearing from Darshandi for the longest time that I'm going to do this, I'm going to plan, and this is what we are doing. For me, the last 10 days have been completely overwhelming because I've had enough time to soak in room by room and feel the feeling of the space. I think I cannot thank Mayank for curating this show so beautifully. Thank you so much. And Reha, I don't know how much heartache my team must have given you, but thank you for all of it. The Kolkata Center for Creativity encourages interdisciplinary artistic practices and emphasizes the relevance of handmade, eco-conscious techniques. We aim to foster community engagement through the exhibitions, workshops, and discussions that explore Bengal's cultural history and its evolving identity, educational programs that document and disseminate knowledge to future generations are also woven into the warp and weft of our programming and through the year. Through this collaboration, both Ivermee Art and the Kolkata Center for Creativity reaffirm our commitment to sustainability, heritage conservation, and the promotion of Bengal's artistic traditions on a national and an international stage. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Agarwal, and that was a testament to the power of disobedience and that of not taking no for an answer, and of course, support everyone here. Thank you once again. To transform an idea into a visual representation, one needs collaborators who understand one's vision and give them life. This exhibition has been curated by Mayank Mansingh Kaul. Mr. Kaul, can we have you on stage, please, to tell us your thoughts while putting this exhibition together?
Thank you so much. Good evening. Namaskar, Adab. Some of you were with us earlier in the afternoon for a walkthrough of the exhibition. And when we were entering the walkthrough, I was I was taken back about 20 years ago, 20 years back. In 2003, I came as a student of textile design to document as part of a design school project, the collection of the Dudhoria Raj family from Azimganj. We have the pleasure to show some of the textiles from their family in the exhibition. And I fell in love with Bengal. I started coming quite frequently, spending a lot of time traveling through the villages of Bengal, looking at collections of various families, and was so drawn to the idea of how what happened in this region represented such a dynamic and exciting time for the subcontinent. So 2005, in the summer, I sought an internship at the Weaver Studio with Darshan, and pretty much spent 1 month doing no work, but learning a lot from Darshan, chatting with her, and leaving with a very, very good friendship. So Darshan, thank you so much for carrying this project, after carrying this project for 5 years, to hand it over to me, your baby. It's a real honor and pleasure that you decided to entrust it to me and to a wonderful team that I've had the chance to work with on the project. And just to give you a little insight into how one conceived of the premise of the exhibition, because 5 years of research had gone into making the book. Many congratulations, Mapin, and to all the contributing editors and authors to the publication. There was so much that was already being covered, so what could we do? What could we really say in the exhibition? So one sort of curatorial decision was to try and include objects that are not in the publication. So with only a few exceptions, we've tried not to repeat objects. The other thing was to try and really bring out the various moods that Bengal textiles represent. So instead of a lot of emphasis on accompanying objects, we've really chosen to focus only on the textiles, and the exhibition design furthers that. So it's really, the focus is on textiles and the various moods that Bengal textiles emerge, from the aristocratic and elite to the rural and the folk, to the urban, to that represents popular culture. The exhibition is staged through 9 sections. Each of these has a distinct theme or a visual material idea or a genre of textile that it speaks about. And given that it's almost 120 objects, it's a quick survey of, or an overview of textiles of Bengal, but also a very little representation of the kind of research that has gone in to the making of the book and the wider research on the project. So I hope that this is only the beginning, even though this is a very ambitious beginning. We have a symposium, there are installations, there's a craft bazaar, there's an exhibition, and a huge publication. But I hope that this is only the beginning of many such more initiatives, and that the city will come together, all of you will come together to give us the opportunity to see more textiles from Bengal and to see more such projects emerging from the region. Thank you so much, and enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Kaul. Along with Mr. Kaul, the contribution of exhibition designer Reha Sodhi is what made this a reality. I would ask Ms. Sodhi to please say a few words.
A very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for being here. Rajat and I worked on the design of this exhibition on textiles from Bengal. This is truly the first of its kind, bringing together rare and traditional works alongside contemporary ones in a unique and thought-provoking way. Designed as an immersive experience, the exhibition invites visitors to engage with Bengal's rich textile heritage like never before. Divided into 9 sections, each space is defined by a distinctive color palette, inspired by the textiles displayed within it. To create a fresh perspective, the traditional pieces are shown in contemporary environments that allow to be seen in a new light. This project has been 5 years in the making, involving extensive research and meticulous planning by the Weaver Studio. We worked closely with the curator to bring their vision to life, collaborated with conservation experts and lighting specialists to ensure that the textiles are preserved and lit as if they were precious jewels. Every detail has been carefully considered to highlight the beauty and significance of these works. We hope that you find the exhibition as inspiring, engaging, and immersive as we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sodhi. To tell stories of textiles that have survived the tides of time and to conserve, protect, and care for them is both an art and a science that few know. Without the help of conservation expert Anupam Shah, Textiles from Bengal, a shared legacy, would not have been possible. Mr. Shah, a few words from you, please. There you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put a title to this small intervention. Let's call it The Sound of Applause. Okay? Now, all of us are here today to celebrate this shared effort. Yes, it's an effort of many minds, individuals, courage of their convictions, fortitude of mind, and the actual inputs they have put in terms of resources of mind, body, and wealth. The other effort that we are talking about is the effort that I would like to celebrate, is the art conservation effort. I'm on this dais today to also celebrate that, because that has also been exemplified in the way this project too has been conducted. And in terms of what this exhibition will achieve, other than the joy that we will receive from the perception of these fabrics and the knowledge that is being shared through the publication, what will be the impact of this exhibition? And for that, I would like to say that one of the first impacts from this venue, from this institution, in which this exhibition is being housed, the impact has been because of the pioneering courage of one lady, Richa Agrawal, when she established, at a time when it was not even in the minds of many, she established an art conservation center in Kolkata. With whatever space was available for the various activities that this institution was to hold, this space was provided for. Thank you very much. I would love a sound of applause for you. Yeah. And that has had an impact, not just in this state, but in the states that are neighboring this region. In terms of this exhibition which is being hosted here, what would be the impact? The impact of the efforts of that one lady who some are saying refuses to hear no for an answer. Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, I put my word here for you to hear and for Darshan ji to corroborate and support that one of the impacts of these energies that you put together will be the establishment of a dedicated textile conservation center in Kolkata. Yes? Yes, it will happen, sir, no? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And our efforts, along with the many in the country, you'll be very happy to know that there's a huge amount of proactive effort that has been being put in by institutions, by governments, by individuals, and civil society in preserving the tangible heritage of a country in a conscious, premeditated, scientific, and in a well-meaning manner. And this augurs very well for the subcontinent. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations for this exhibition.
A round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Shah. Over the past 4 years, experts from across the world have come together to help Darshan and her team at WSRC make this project a reality. With some of the leading names in the field, the exhibition's essence has been captured in a volume with the same name, Textiles from Bengal, a Shared Legacy. May I invite Dr. Sonia Ashmore, retired fellow of the Victoria and Albert Museum, London, and one of the editors of the publication, to talk to us about the book. That sound of applause, please, again.
Good afternoon, everybody. You'll have to take it that I hope I'm speaking for the other two editors who can't be here, so it's only me holding the responsibility. Textiles are not produced in a vacuum, but are the material product of complex interactions between land, water, plants, historical events, and people. And this book differs from many other studies of Indian textiles in its attempt to encompass all these fields in its wide vision and a sort of holistic approach. Here, many voices tell the stories of the varied textiles of Bengal, Bengal in its widest sense, textile scholars and practitioners, social and art historians, museum curators, collectors, and the makers themselves. Here are the voices, songs, memories, and labor of the usually mute textile producers. Here is a great range of cloth, not only the famed muslins and silks of Bengal, but also the more modest yet hugely varied fabrics worn by ordinary people, from Santipur dhoti to gamcha cloth. It's been a fascinating journey for me, from the local to the colonial, from rural village to city museum, and a wonderful collaboration with contributors from 3 continents and many countries. Special thanks must go to Darshan Shah for having the vision and drive to make this happen. Also to Shubham China for his indefatigable and patient coordination of the book, and to the publisher Bipin Shah of Mapin for producing such a stunning volume in record time. And I urge you all to read it and enjoy it.
Thank you, Dr. Ashmore. Like Dr. Ashmore said, the co-editors, Dr. Tirthankar Roy, Professor of Economic History, London School of Economics, and Dr. Niaz Zaman, Professor of English at the University of Dhaka, could not join us today. However, they have recorded messages for all of us to commemorate this occasion. Can we have the video for Dr. Roy, please?
Hello, everyone. I apologize for not being able to join the workshop and celebrate the publication of the book, Textiles from Bengal, A Shared Legacy, with all of you. I just wanted to share some thoughts about my involvement in this field and how that contributed to the making of the book. When I was a student in university in the 1980s, preparing to be an economic historian, which is what I am now, most expert historians in my field believed in a story about Indian textiles, which said that British mechanized goods destroyed Indian handicrafts, leading to economic and social decline. A few scholars questioned that story, but an alternative story was not yet in sight. Since then, and I'm talking about roughly 40 years, the history of India's textile crafts has moved on in a completely new direction. And one idea above all shaped that movement, which is that clothing is a bundle of qualities like design, material, color, texture, sometimes feel, sometimes smell. And consumers value clothing not just by looking at the price tag, but all of these qualities. Artisans, probably more than the first generation weaving machines, could better adjust and innovate on some of these qualities. Craftsmen used their skills to vary these, create unique products that machines could not replicate, and maintain a market for handmade goods. Crafts did lose a lot of the market, but also retained a lot. Even when the crafts faced competition or face competition today, their rivals have to consider how these qualities could be reproduced. And in this way, many ideas embedded in the artisanal tradition of textile production has persisted, moved from hand to machine production spheres, or combined both. Most handloom production towns today in India do not contain just handlooms. They also contain power looms by the side. And that symbiosis has shaped their modern history. This changed perspective revealed the dynamic and creative potential of handcrafted textiles in a contemporary context. Because of this quality dimension, textile history is quite a unique subject. It breaks specializations. It can bring together economic historians, cultural historians, designers, curators, academics, merchants, producers, and consumers into a conversation. Creating a platform for such exchange, however, is rare. It's costly in time and money. And that is exactly what is now happening here. Textiles from Bengal, a shared legacy, is the product of a collaboration across expertise and interests. Several of my colleagues and associates at the London School of Economics and across the economic history field have written for it. Textiles from Bengal contributed to British industrialization and ideas of fashion worldwide, and some of these colleagues explored that idea. The book and the objects it is about showcase that heritage, that global influence. I am sorry to miss this event, but just wanted to say how excited I am to be part of the collective. Thank you.
The video for Dr. Zaman, please.
Good morning. Adab, namaste. It's a pleasure to be here, though not in person, to share my feelings about this great event. First of all, let me congratulate Darshan and her team for the book and the accompanying exhibition. I would also like to thank Darshan for honoring my work by making me co-author of the publication with Dr. Roy and Dr. Ashmore. Thank you, Mayank, for curating the exhibition, which I hope I will get to see later. I am so happy that Ruby Pal Chaudhary has been honored for her lifelong contribution to Katha. I would also like to thank all the contributors to the volume for the very interesting insights into the shared legacy of textiles from Bengal and Bangladesh, from what used to be a united Bengal.
Thank you to our editors for their contributions. A book, but, is never just about printed pages. It is so much more. And the right publishing partner is what makes it a collectible. May I now invite Mr. Bipin Shah, Mapin Publishing, to talk about why he chose to partner with Darshan. Mr. Shah.
I have known Darshan over 20 years, probably, maybe more. And over the years, we have stayed in touch, talking about different ideas, different projects. But doing a book together didn't really materialize until last year. Making of a book in today's context, it still remains the same what it used to be over the years. In spite of the technology, AI, today a surgeon can go into the deep recesses of your eye and can do the operation through a robot. Or farmers in the middle of Madhya Pradesh could get help of an AI expert and find out what was the average rainfall in the last 10 years and when to sow seeds when rainfall is delayed or rainfall has come earlier. But none of those technological advances today, with the exception of a few, can help publishers do their bit. It takes 9 months to create a baby, and a book doesn't take much less time than doing that. Publishers use AI to do the editing, to check out duplications done inadvertently or intentionally. Publishers can create new text by just putting in your ideas in an AI platform, and it could create a whole essay on what you tell them. But the human eye, what it would identify, or it would define, or it would find a comma was missing, an AI platform still can't really do that. And so it takes that much amount of time to create a book, which really a reviewer can take it apart by saying that, oh, a comma was missing here, that changes the meaning of that sentence. So that tells you what it takes to create a book. Darshan had given us quite a challenge, that instead of the 9 months that we had asked her to provide us, we had to take it down to literally 4 months, which meant that our editors and designers and proofreaders had to work day and night to be able to create something that we didn't want to compromise. And that's something what it takes to create a book that one is proud of at the end of the day. Exhibitions come and go, but what leaves behind is really what you document in a book, which is part of the exhibition, but it also is something beyond it. Visual pieces, documentary, text that you don't get to see and read in an exhibition stays on in a book for a long time to come. I would like to cite one example. In 1985, when Malika Sarabhai and I established Mapin, our idea was to create books on craft traditions of India. And our first book, Crafts of Gujarat, was born at that time. 2 years later, we realized what an impact a book really creates. Someone arrived in Ahmedabad and said, I'm looking for the authentic Bandhani pieces. I'm going to Kutch, tell us where I can go and find it. And so we sent her off to Kutch, and she went around craftspeople who were making Bandhanis, and one woman started showing her Bandhani pieces, one after the other, and she said, no, not this. Then finally she goes out and into her bunga and brings out a book and opens the Bandhani page and says, is this what you're looking for? And that was a Bandhani with nearly 500 knots per square inch. And she says, yes, that's what I'm looking for. So that tells you what is the power of a book, that it goes beyond the printed pages and also goes beyond to a point where craft people's expertise, then you create it on a piece of paper. That's what it really tells you what a book can do. Book can give you ideas, book can inspire you, book can give you a pleasure, but it's something, it goes beyond that. One of the interesting aspects in the book, and it's full of such stories, that Aurangzeb was really besotted with muslin. And his daughter Zebunisa was being clothed one day by her dasis. And after a while, she got irritated and said, where are my clothes? And she was wearing 7 layers of muslin, not realizing that was what her dress was. So there are fascinating stories that the book is filled with, and thanks to Darshan and the 3 editors and the 34 contributors who have found fascinating facts and stories in the book. And I'm delighted, and thank you for giving us an opportunity for creating this book. Thank you.
Mr. Shah, can you please stay on stage, because we're going to unveil the publication right now. Power of disobedience, power of not taking no, power of support, of course, always the power of books. Could I now invite on stage Darshan Shah, Dr. Sonia Ashmore, Dr. Rosemary Crill, Shri Porish Maiti, Ms. Jayashri Burman, Ms. Apurna Shen, Ms. Sangeeta Jindal, and Ms. Richa Agarwal, please. Please join us on stage. Congratulations to the team, and thank you. As we celebrate the past, we need to also examine the present and look into the future. We must acknowledge and recognize the hands, hearts, and minds that have worked with commitment and passion over the years to ensure that the ethos of our traditions do not die out. We take this opportunity to express our admiration and gratitude for some of these individuals who are here with us today. May I invite Darshan to introduce our first awardee, Srimati Ruby Pal Chaudhary, please.
Let not the applause stop. An honor, a privilege to this grand person, this human dynamo, this amazing woman at 96 and still dreaming projects. May we please put our hands together and give her a standing ovation. Ruby Pal Chaudhary, the doyen of our handcrafted textile journeys over the last 7 decades. Ruby Pal Chaudhary is President Emeritus of the Crafts Council of West Bengal. She is one of India's leading experts and advocates for craft revival and documentation. She was elected Honorary General Secretary and Executive Director of the Crafts Council of West Bengal, which is affiliated with the Crafts Council of India. For us at Weavers Studio Resource Center, Ruby Di is a mentor, guide, friend, and has boundless energy and is a source of inspiration and knowledge. Ami amar pronam janai Ruby Dike, and it's just the most hero moment in my last many years that she's blessed me, she's guided me, she's supported me, she's encouraged me, she's helped me, she's shared with me, she's cared and she's really collected one of the best textiles, APAR, OPAR.
I think.
May I please request Dr. Ashok Chatterjee to felicitate Ruby Di.
Professor Chatterjee is the former director of the National Institute of Design.
May I request Dr. Chatterjee, he's had the longest relationship with Ruby Dee, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Darshan ji. And thank you, Ruby Dee. To say a few words about this encyclopedia of knowledge and about wisdom is rather difficult. When I joined the Crafts Council of India some years ago, the first experience was that Ruby Dee put us on a train to go to Shantiniketan. And on this train, a large number of ladies and 2 men, of which I was one. The other gentleman who had come from Orissa said to me, "Mr. Chatterjee, we're the only 2 men on this train. What is going to happen?" Ruby Dee would take no nonsense from anyone. She was busy putting everyone onto the train. And I said to this gentleman, "I'll tell you what, if there's an accident, this lady, this is Pal Chaudhary, is going to pull out her megaphone and say, 'Men off first.'" All of us owe so much to Ruby Pal Chaudhary. Not only is she a national treasure, but she's a treasure on the subcontinent, whose name is honored from every part of this subcontinent. And the book, which is called A Shared Legacy, I think it's really important to understand that this is indeed a shared legacy, and Ruby Dee, in her life and work, has represented that. Her name is something that is treasured in Pakistan, across India, of course, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. In a sense, she is our link with that generation that first brought craft revival into the agenda of a free nation. But there were many ups and downs. And of course, Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, who I think is the one who brought you into this area of work, Ruby Dee, she is our link with Kamala Devi and with those pioneering visionaries who understood why crafts and the handmade was so important to the identity of a new nation and a modern contemporary identity of a new nation. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay started the Crafts Council of India through stalwarts like Ruby Dee. But really what has happened in the last 70 years has not been an easy journey. From the time when crafts was at the center of our freedom struggle to the time when globalization and other agendas of modernity began to emerge very aggressively, Ruby Dee and all of us who have worked in this sector had to face a new attitude and a new culture. And we were told less than 20 years ago by people in very high positions that this sector was a sunset sector. And the handmade was a sunset industry, and we should let it die. Perhaps document it, perhaps put it into museums, but as an agenda for progress, no. We were told that India has other aspirations of world power, and this is not amongst them. So it's not been an easy journey. But throughout this journey, Ruby Pal Chaudhary has been our lighthouse. Never giving up, never allowing us to give up, always scolding, encouraging, pushing, and, like Darshan ji, never taking no for an answer. So it is an incredibly proud moment to be standing here to pay homage to Ruby Dee. I personally owe her a debt which I can never repay. But she represents to me what Gurudev wants, the phrase that Gurudev used, Rabindranath Tagore used, to describe why he was battling for the handmade sector. And he had a battle, even more difficult perhaps than the one that we have been facing in the last few decades. But he described this sector as life in its completeness. And that is something that Ruby Dee has understood. That what we were doing was not just about beautiful, aesthetically wonderful crafts and reviving and restoring things of beauty, but of providing livelihoods to millions of people. Millions and millions of people who to this day are uncounted. This subcontinent represents the world's largest resource of artisanal skills and wisdom. And yet, to this day, 75 years after freedom, we still don't know how many people constitute the so-called second largest industry after agriculture, a phrase we hear all the time, but we don't have the data to back it. And with the support of Ruby Dee and other colleagues like hers, we have begun, from civil society, an effort to do the actual counting, to be able to put on the table the evidence of what a massive industry this is. The government recognizes about 11 to 16 million artisans. We estimate informally, and with the help of people like Dr. Tirthankar, that the figure is at least 250 million. And according to the latest estimate that I heard just 2 or 3 days ago in this very hall, 400 million. Now you can understand the crisis of an industry which is looking for investment, which is looking for hard-headed business decisions, which can put money into this sector and put food on the table for millions of our artisans and encourage another generation to remain in this industry when we don't even have reliable data which can attract investment. Ruby Dee has been one of those who's understood that our journey is not just about aesthetics and that the culture that we are dedicated to is a culture of not just resilience, not just survival, but the flourishing of what Gurudev had described as life in its completeness. And today, when we honor Ruby Dee, she is the embodiment of something else which also came out of this subcontinent. When Amartya Sen and Mahbub-ul Haq of Pakistan, together with others, evolved the Human Development Indicators, which led to the Sustainable Development Goals, of which there are 17. And this is the only Indian industry which directly contributes to 11 of those 17 goals. 11 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are represented by the artisans of our country. And the tragedy is that twice a year, when India reports its progress, and now has to do with perhaps more than that because of climate change, reports its progress to the United Nations on what we are doing about sustainable development, the contribution which our millions of artisans make is never counted and never reported. Ruby Dee insists that all this bad news must make us more resilient, more dedicated, and try even harder. And so I think when I look at that shared legacy, I think Ruby Dee would want us to know and recognize this as a shared responsibility for the future. a responsibility which we share with all our colleagues on this subcontinent. Thank you very much, Ruby Dee, for representing everything that makes this subcontinent so special. And for
What I wanted to say, that whatever I have done, and when Ashok became the President of Crafts Council of India, it was his direction that led me on. Otherwise, I wouldn't have understood it fully. Yeah.
I must tell you that every now and then you should pick up the phone and say, Ashok, what is this nonsense? Get on with it. So thank you very much. And as for Darshan ji, I think from now...
Darshan are much, much younger.
Darshan ji. Not only Darshan ji, but I think you should be called Marg Darshan ji. Because you're giving us the direction for the future. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, not just Darshan ji and Ruby Dee. One of the extraordinary things about this sector is there's a huge gender imbalance. I think I'm still the only one I think that the other gentleman, incidentally, who was on the Howrah station platform for me, he never showed his face again. He was simply terrified. But there are so many wonderful women who have led this movement, from Kamala Devi to these Devis, and I hope that their leadership will continue to drive us as you have driven us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Professor Chatterjee, thank you for an extremely moving, insightful, and inspiring address to us all. This is the cue for a video which we have prepared for Ruby Dee. Nana, apni thakun.
I remember when I joined Loreto House for my graduation. That was in 1944 when I first joined Loreto House. And that's the first time I wore saris. And my mother bought me some, I think about 5 saris or 6 saris, I can't remember. All handloom, Santipur Dure, Dhonekali, all these Bengal saris, and they cost only 6 rupees at that time, each one. I had about 5 saris, and which I used to, because they're so good to wash and they immediately dry. So I had no problem to have 5 saris for the thing. I stayed in somebody's house, and I used to go to Loreto. I think Baluchuri and Chandani. These are the 2 things I like very much. Oh my God. Kano. Baluchuri is a narrative textiles. It has a history. I always looked at the history of the textile. That was the point, that when I buy a sari, I try to see what history it has. Not only technologically, I'm not really great, but still, I try to study the technique. At the same time, it was a narrative. It must have some history. That is the most important thing for me. Any sari which must have a history. That's what it is. Normally, most sari, the favorite saris. By wearing a beautiful sari, I feel great. Absolutely. I feel life is worth living. I also feel that. Because we are supporting our handloom industry. We are supporting our fashion, which is Bengal. Sari is a very important thing. It can be worn in many ways. It can be worn in a very Western way. So I think it is a great dress, absolutely. So I feel very happy that I am wearing a sari. As you know, Bengal Malbal was so much in demand. But this fine cloth, which was woven, it came when, I think, during the Sen dynasty, when the weavers migrated. A lot of weavers, they started. Earlier than that, there were motor shuto. And over the centuries, it went on, and fantastic things were woven at that time in Santipur. Even saris, one one side gold, one side silver. That kind of sarees used to be. They didn't need any cotton or silk yarn. With golden thread, and they're called Kalavati sarees. They were so beautiful, but they all went abroad. Everything went abroad. It was a Manchester yarn, that is the top. And people everything. So it all stopped when the Manchester yarn came. That was very sad, very sad. And not only that, they used to get the designs of the border, these colonial people, done by our weavers. And they used to learn the technique, and then they were producing the same borders in the mill and sending it here. So this is the way they ruined our textile trade. Future generation should be, it's coming up, I think it is coming, that they should be aware of our heritage and do something. And of course, they can use some modern technology in it. There's no doubt. As long as they maintain the border and all those things that used to happen. That used to happen. We should try and revive our past glory. That is what it is that they should do. Passion is there. It's my passion that is carrying me through all the time.
Ruby Didi, আপনি কিছু বলবেন?
What I want to thank you very much for making me something which I do not think, I feel I do not deserve. After all, it's a craftspeople and person like Darshan who should be felicitated. And I think she is the 9th wonder of the world. I don't absolutely. What she does, I don't think anybody else can organize in this manner. So in this amazing, amazing exhibition, symposium, a demonstration, everything. Who can do such a big thing, bringing everybody together from all over the world? And she has been chasing the trade textile route, collecting samples, knowing about it. Who can do this much? I am really absolutely amazed and so grateful to her for your generation. I know we have worked in the past, but that's nothing to this, what shall I say, to this extent. And it's really impossible. So thank you, Darshan.
Thank you, Didi, for all those wonderful words.
Could I request you, ma'am, to present the award of appreciation to Shri Horipodo Boshak. Shri Boshak is the former manager of Fulia Tontubai Shomiti and a craft revivalist and documenter. We'll have the video, please, for Shri Boshak.
আমি একজন তাঁতির ছেলে এবং এই তাঁতের ব্যবসা হচ্ছে আমাদের 3 পুরুষের পেশা বলা চলে। সেই পেশার মধ্যেই আছি। ওপার বঙ্গে আমাদের বসবাস ছিল। আমি 20 বছর বয়সে 1968 সালে এদেশে চলে এসেছি। এসে তাঁতের কাজই মানে একমাত্র জীবিকা ছিল। পরবর্তী সময়ে ফুলিয়াতে যে সমবায় আন্দোলন শুরু হয়, সেই আন্দোলনের সঙ্গে ওতপ্রোতভাবে জড়িয়ে যাই এবং তার ফলে যে কোঅপারেটিভ সোসাইটি তৈরি হয়, তার একটা সোসাইটির ম্যানেজার হিসেবে 1977 সালে আমি জয়েন করি। সেইটা আমার চলেছিল 2006 সাল পর্যন্ত। তারপরে যখন রিটায়ার করলাম, তার পাশে যে সমবায় সমিতিটা ছিল, তারা আমাকে অফার দিল যে আপনি অবসর জীবনটা আমাদের সঙ্গে কাজ করে কাটান। এখন তাদের সঙ্গেই মিশে কাজ করছি। ফুল টাইম জব নয়, ওদের প্রয়োজন যখন যেরকম প্রয়োজন হয় সেরকম ডাকলে আমি ওদের সঙ্গে গিয়ে কাজ করি। রেজিস্ট্রেশন হলো প্রথম কাগজপত্র লেখার থেকে শুরু করে বাইলো তৈরি করা, তারপরে খাতাপত্র তৈরি করা, এগুলা সব বাক্সুর নির্দেশ মতো আমি শুরু করেছিলাম প্রথম। এবং এখন পর্যন্ত আমি এইসব খাতাপত্র, চিঠিপত্র, লেখালেখি এই সমস্ত ব্যাপারগুলো নিয়ে এখনও সোসাইটিরা প্রয়োজনে আমার কাছে আসে এবং আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করে। এই যে শুরু হলো তারপরে আমি আর এদিক ওদিক তাকাতে পারিনি, শুধু এই কোঅপারেটিভ নিয়ে পড়ে আছি, নিজের সংসারের দিকে খুব একটা তাল দিতে পারিনি। বাড়িতে পরিবার ছিল, আমার 3টি মেয়ে ছিল, ওই পরিবারের উপরে ফেলে রেখেই আমাকে ওই এদিক সেদিক ছুটতে হতো কোঅপারেটিভ হিসাবে। এই অমুক জায়গায় মিটিং হচ্ছে, সেমিনার হবে, ওখানে এক্সিবিশন হবে, যেতে হবে। এই করে আমাদের কর্মচারীও ছিল, 10-12 জন করে কর্মচারী ছিল, এবং আমি এখন পর্যন্ত লেগে আছি। কারণ এখনো কিছু ভুল ত্রুটি হলে পরে আমি চোখে আঙ্গুল দিয়ে দেখিয়ে দিই এই যে এই জিনিস হয়েছে, এবং ওরা আমাকে মোটামুটি মানে, শ্রদ্ধা করে।
হরিপদ বাবু, আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। As we continue, may I invite Ms. Aparna Sen, Ms. Jayashree Burman, and Shri Porish Maiti to felicitate the following master craftspeople of Bengal. Videos introducing each awardee will precede their felicitation. আপনারা এসে বসতে পারেন। হ্যাঁ, চলে আসুন। The first awardee is Srimati Bishakha Boshak, processor of cotton yarn in Phulia. We will have the video first and then she'll come up.
Video. টাঙ্গাইল জেলার নলসন্দা, আর বাপের বাড়ি হইল পাত্রায়, আর বিয়ে হয়েছিল 18 বছরে, আর বিয়ে হইয়া স্বামী আছিল আমার 15 বছর। বাংলাদেশে যে গন্ডগোলটা হইলো, গন্ডগোলের পরেই আইছি। কোন আইছি তা আমি অত বলতে পারবো না। এটা আমার বাপের বাড়ি গরিব আছিল, তো আমি 8 বছর বয়সের থেকে, যে সময় আমার 8 বছর বয়স, সে সময় থেকে আমি এলো এই সুতার কাজটা করি। 4 টাকা মুড়া, 10 পল্লা সুতা 4 টাকা, ওই 10 মুড়াও করি, 12 মুড়াও করি। আবার যে সময় থাকে না, সেই সময় 1 সপ্তাহ বইহাই থাকে। এই পূজার পরের থেকে বইহা রয়েছি, যে এখন আবার কয়দিন ধরে করতেছি। ভাত নই, মার দেই, সুতাটা ডলা দিই, ডলা দিলে পরে হইয়া জায়গা দিয়া থুই। ওই যে করলাম এখন, ওইটা রোদ দেওয়ার লাগে, রোদ দিয়া তারপরে আবার হইলো শুকান লাগে, শুকিয়ে তারপরে আবার ছোট চরকিতে জুগিয়া আবার এই যে পাটকাঠি ছিটাই পড়তে হয়।
Srimati Boshak, আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। Next up, we have Shri Gourango Boshak, Master Weaver of Tangail Shari, Phulia. Can we have the video, please?
আমি তখন 9 বছর বয়স, আমি ইন্ডিয়া চলে আসি। সকালে উঠি, বাবা দেখি কান্না করছে, তখন আমার 9 বছর বয়স। দেখে ওই বাড়ির লোক, ঘর আছে, লোক নেই, একটা লোকও নেই, মানে সব ইন্ডিয়া চলে আসে। পরের দিন দেখছে আর 2 বাড়ি নেই। তারপর দেখছে প্রায় এরকম করে গ্রামটা ফাঁকা হয়ে গেল। তখন বাবা দেখলো যে এই বাচ্চা নিয়ে আমি কি করে থাকবো। তখনও বাবা এই দেশে আসার জন্য পাড়ি দিল। তারপরে আস্তে আস্তে কাজ করতে করতে এই বাবা আমাকে শেখালো। লেখাপড়াটা হলো না, বললো যে ভবিষ্যতে যদি বেঁচে থাকতে যাও, কাজটা ভালো করে শিখে না। এই কাজ করতে করতেই 3 মেয়ে হলো, তাদের সামান্য মানে মাধ্যমিক পর্যন্ত পড়াতে পারছিলাম, তারপরে পারি নাই। তারপরে বিয়ে দিয়েছি, তারা ওই শাড়ির মাধ্যমে থাকে, এই লোকালেই বিয়ে দেওয়া হয়। এই কাজটা আমি যখন শিখতে শুরু করলাম তখন কঠিন লাগলো, কিন্তু যখন শিখে গেলাম তখন আর কঠিন মনে হলো না। এখন আমাকে যেটা দেবে আমি একেবারে জলের মতন করে ফেলবো। কিন্তু হালে দেখছি এই আমাদের টাঙ্গাইল শাড়িটার দাম বেশি এবং খরচ বেশি, এই জন্য এসে গেল পারলুম আর রেফিয়ার, এই হ্যান্ডলুমগুলো একদম উঠে গেল। এখন যা বুঝতেছি, ওদের শাড়ি যা তৈরি হচ্ছে সেটা শাড়ি হচ্ছে না, ওই জলে দেওয়ার পরে শাড়িটা নষ্ট হয়ে যায়। আমার একটা শাড়ি যদি 40 বছর পরে, 30 বছর পরে, ওটা 3 দিনেই শেষ হয়ে যাবে। ওই 11 বছর থেকে শুরু করছিলাম, আমার ছুটি বলে কোনো শব্দ ছিল না আমার জীবনে। আমি 18 ঘন্টা থেকে 20 ঘন্টা পর্যন্ত ডিউটি করেছি এই কাজ। কিন্তু সেই দিন আর নেই। এখন আমি অত পারি না, আমি 12-13 ঘন্টা টানি। না, পারলুমে আমি বিশ্বাস করি না, শাড়ি হয় না ওটা। আমার বাবা বলতো কাপড় আর চোপড়, আমার কাছে ওটা চোপড় মনে হচ্ছে এখন।
গৌরাঙ্গবাবু, আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। নেক্সট ভিডিও, শ্রীমতী কানন ভট্টাচার্য।
শ্রীনিকেতনে থাকি, শ্রীনিকেতনে আমার বাড়ি। আমার নাম কানন ভট্টাচার্য, আমার বয়স 76 বছর হলো। আমার স্বামী কৃষ্ণবন্ধু ভট্টাচার্য, উনি কলা ভবনের একজন প্রাক্তন ছাত্র ছিলেন। ইদানিং উনি মারা গেছেন। আমার ছোট ছোট সন্তান আগে মানুষ করার জন্য আমি শিল্প সদনে বাটিক ডিপার্টমেন্টে 1 বছরের বাটিকের ট্রেনিং নিয়েছিলাম। সেই ট্রেনিং নেওয়ার পর 74-75 সাল ট্রেনিং নেওয়ার পর আমি শিল্প সদনে 75 সাল থেকেই বাটিকের কাজ করে সন্তানদের মানুষ করবার চেষ্টা করে গেছি। আজও অবধি 76 বছর বয়স অবধি আমি এখনো বাটিকটাকে টেনে যাচ্ছি, এখনো বাটিক করছি। তবে এখন আমার পাশে আমার ছেলে আমাকে সাহায্য করছে। আমি অতটা এখন করতে পারি না বলে আমি ছেলের সাহায্য নিয়ে এখনো চলছি, এখনো বাটিকটা চালিয়ে যাচ্ছি, কারণ আমার এটাই জীবিকা, এটা নিয়ে আমাদের জীবিকা অর্জন করতে হচ্ছে। বাটিকটাই আমার সব থেকে ভালো লেগেছে। ডিজাইন আঁকা, ডিজাইন করা, তারপরে এগুলোকে সব তৈরি করে নিয়ে শাড়ির মধ্যে আঁকা, শাড়িতে এঁকে নিয়ে মোম লাগানোর পর ওগুলোকে আবার রং করি। পুরো শাড়িটা রং করার পর আবার যটা রং হবে, 2, 3, 4 পর্যন্ত রং হয়, 5টাও করা যায়। তো সেই রং করার পর প্রত্যেকটি রঙের মধ্যে বারবার আমাকে মোম দিয়ে ঢাকতে হয়। ঢেকে দেওয়ার পর ওটার মধ্যে ক্র্যাক্স আসে, রং যখনই ক্র্যাক্সটা আসে ডোয়ার সাথে সাথে ওইটা একটা কি বলবো আর্টিস্টিক একটা ব্যাপার থাকে, দেখতে সুন্দর লাগে। পরে লাস্টে রং হয়ে যাওয়ার পর ব্ল্যাক রংটাই বেশিরভাগ লাস্টে হয়। ব্ল্যাক করার পর আমি ওই গরম জল কাঠে সাবান সোডা দিয়ে ফোটাতে হয়। ফুটন্ত জলে কাপড়গুলো ডোবানো ওঠানো করাতে মোমটা সরে যায় ওর থেকে। সরে যাওয়ার পর কাপড়টা পরিষ্কার হয়ে যায়। ওকে পরিষ্কার জলে কেচে নিয়ে শুকিয়ে নিয়ে তার মধ্যে কলর দিয়ে আয়রন করে ওটা আমাদের বিক্রি করা হয়। যেগুলো আজকাল বেরিয়েছে তার থেকে গুরুত্ব দিচ্ছে এই বাটিকটাতে, কারণ এই বাটিকটা প্রতিবাদী বা রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুর জাভার থেকে, ইন্দোনেশিয়ার জাভার থেকে উনি এনেছিলেন, এনে ওনার পুত্রবধূকে এটা শিখিয়েছিলেন। তখন থেকে এই প্রচলনটা শান্তিনিকেতনে বাটিকটা চলে এসছে। আর বাটিকটা শান্তিনিকেতনে বলেই এতটা গুরুত্ব দেয় সকলে, কারণ এই ডিজাইনগুলো আমরা যে ডিজাইনগুলো করি শান্তিনিকেতনে, এই ডিজাইনটা কিন্তু বাইরে পাওয়া যায় না, কোনো জায়গায় মেশিনেও পাওয়া যাবে না, বা অন্য কোনো দোকানেও এই ডিজাইনটা পাওয়া যাবে না। এই ডিজাইনটা একমাত্র আমাদের বাড়িতেই আছে।
আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। শ্রী তাপস দত্ত, হ্যান্ড কার্ড পাঞ্চার, বিষ্ণুপুর। ভিডিওটা প্লিজ প্লে করবেন।
তখন এখানে বালুচরী শাড়ি সেই প্রথম উৎপন্ন হয়, এবং কিছু কিছু জায়গাতে তখন বালুচরী শাড়ি আস্তে আস্তে তৈরি হতে থাকে। তো ডিজাইনের জন্য কেউ থাকেনি তখন। এটা আমরা প্রথমে আপনার কলকাতাতে যে বোর্ড আনি, বড় সাইজ আর কি, সেটাকে এখানে আমরা মেশিন দিয়ে সাইজ করি। সেই সাইজ করার ফলে আমাদের এই সাইজ কাটিং হয়। এটা আমাদের মেশিনে সেটা কাজে লাগে। এটাকে নিয়ে আসার পরে দিয়ে আপনার ডিজাইন একটা আঁকানো হয়। ডিজাইন যে আঁকা হয় সেই ডিজাইনের আঁকার জন্য আলাদা আছেন উনি আবার এঁকে দিয়ে আমাকে দেন। দেওয়ার পরে আমি এই ডিজাইন দেখছেন, এই ডিজাইনের মধ্যে সেই ছবিগুলো বোর্ডগুলো আমি তুলব পুরোটা। এরপরে এই পুরো ছবিটাকে তুলতে গেলে 3000 এরকম বোর্ড লাগবে, তবে তার এই কমপ্লিট হবে। এটা একটা শাড়ির পিছনে আপনার 12,000 কমপ্লিট করতে লাগবে। এই কাঠগুলো বাঁধা হবে কীভাবে, এই ধরুন আমি একটা কাটিং করেছি, সেই কাটিংয়ের মধ্যে এইখানে সুতো গলবে, এই সুতো অনুযায়ী সেটাতে আস্তে 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 করে পুরো পরপর আমরা নাম্বার দিচ্ছি, সেই নাম্বার অনুযায়ী সেটা সেটিং হবে। এক থেকে ধরুন এটা নাম্বার দিয়েছে 764, এটা ডবল হবে, এইভাবে 3000 পাটে এটা হবে। হওয়ার ফলে সেই পরপর হয়ে একটা করে হালা লাগবে, তারপরে সেই হালাটাকে আমরা এটাকে হালা বলি, যেটাকে আমরা বাঁধছি। বাঁধার পরে এটা আপনার হচ্ছে 300 করে হলে 10টা হালা হচ্ছে, সেই 10টা হালা আস্তে আস্তে হলে এই ডিজাইনটা পুরোটা করা যাবে, তখন বানানো যাবে। এটা মোটামুটি আমার একটা শাড়ির পেছনে যদি আমাকে কমপ্লিট করতে হয় তাহলে আমার 1.5 মাস থেকে 2 মাস সময় লাগে কমপ্লিট করতে গেলে। পারিবারিক যে সংসার চলা যেটা বলে, মানে বাংলাতে যেটা বলে আর কি, তো সেটা আমার পুরো এই কাজটার উপরেই নির্ভর করে চলছে। আর মেশিনে যে শাড়ি বোনা হয়, আমিও দেখলাম মেশিনে শাড়ি বোনা দেখলাম, তো তাতে আপনার কিন্তু সেই শাড়ি আর হাতে বোনা শাড়ি অনেক তফাৎ আছে। মেশিনে একটা প্রবলেম হয়ে গেলে সেটা ঠিক করা যাবে না, কিন্তু আমাদের হাতে হলে সেটাকে আমরা ঠিক করে নিতে পারবো।
তাপসবাবু, আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। শ্রীমতী ইতু মণ্ডল ভিডিওটা একটু প্লে করবেন।
আমার নাম ইতু মণ্ডল, আমার বয়স 60 বছর। আমি সুতোর কাজ বছর 15 থেকে বয়স তখন থেকে করছি। আমার বাবার বাড়িতেও তসরের কাজ আছে, সব কাজ করাই। এই যে তসরগুলো আমরা জল দিয়ে হাঁড়িতে সোডা দিয়ে তসরগুলোকে দিয়ে দিই, দেওয়ার পরে যখন তসরগুলো সেদ্ধ হয়ে যায় 1 ঘন্টা মতো লাগে, সেইটাও গুড় করে দিয়ে আমরা ছাইয়ের সঙ্গে মানে ধুয়ে পরে ছাই দিয়ে কাপড় দিয়ে জড়িয়ে রেখে দিই। সেই তসরটা যখন শুকনো পাড়াট্টু হয়ে যায়, রসটা থাকে না, তখন আমরা তসর কাটতে আরম্ভ করি। এই উপরের এই উপরকার তসরের উপরে ছালিটা এই লাটাতে দিই। এই লাটাতে দেওয়ার পরে যখন এইরকম সরু ঘি বেরিয়ে, তখন আমরা এই তসরটা এই লাটাতেই আরম্ভ করি। এই লাটা এই সুতো কাটা লাটাতে আরম্ভ করি। এইটুকু যেমন করলাম, তখন আমরা এইটিকে আমরা আরম্ভ করি। যখন দেখি যে এতগুলো তসর আমাদের ছাইল মানে কাটানো শেষ হয়ে গেল, তখন আমরা এইটা আবার পাতা করি। মানে এই তসর কাটলে পয়সা পানি পাওয়া যায়। এই গুটিগুলা বিক্রি করি, গুটিতেও পয়সা হয়, পয়সা সংসারেও দিতে হয়, রাখে কোনো জিনিস কিনতে হয়। এই গুটি পোকাগুলা খুব চাহিদা, প্রত্যেকদিন বিক্রি হয়। আমার 3 ছেলে, তো 2 বৌমা কাটে, 2 বৌমা বিক্রি করে, আমিও করি। আমার সুতো কাটতে অন্য কিছু কষ্ট হয় না, মানে অনেকক্ষণ বসে থাকতে পারি না, হাত পা নিয়ে বসে থাকতে হয়, ঘুরুইতে হয়, তো সবসময়ই তো ঘুরুইতে হবে। আমি আরও স্পিডে কাটতি, তো এখন পাচ্ছি। আর বৌমারা সব ছেলে মানুষ, ওরা সব পারে, আমি অতটা আর পারি না। অনেক দিন থেকে তো কাজ করছি।
আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ। We have 2 awardees who are not here with us today. Mohammad Abdul Salam, Master Weaver of Cotton and Silk Sarees, Sirajganj, Bangladesh, and Mohammad Kutubuddin, Master Weaver of Banarasi Sari, Mirpur, Bangladesh. If you could just put your hands together for them. Thank you. And the last award for today's evening is Asghar Ali, Master Dyer, Weaver Studio, Kolkata. Can we have the video, please?
मेरा नाम मोहम्मद असगर अली है, बिहार से बिलोंग करते हैं। 30 साल में वीवर स्टूडियो के साथ काम करने के बाद बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत बढ़िया। और शुरू से ही दर्शन जी के पास हमने नेचुरल काम सीखे उनसे और नेचुरल काम ही किए। ये सब रंग बनाने से पहले कपड़ा को आइलन टिट करना पड़ता है, उसके बाद बारी बारी से सब कलर में डालना है। इंडिगो हो, मैरीगोल्ड हो या डालिम के छिलका से हो, ग्रीन यूकलिप्टस का पत्ता हो।
We never get to award our own people. And this is one opportunity I didn't want to miss. He's been with me from day one. Both of us had blue nails for many, 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 many years. And he's just been so dedicated. And he's done 32 colors of indigo. And that's in the exhibition. So, ladies and gentlemen, do enjoy that tactile experience in a little notebook that we've put together in the exhibition. Thank you very, very much.